Hi, welcome to the Explainer series for Quant. Here we'll be using very simple concepts and apply it to CAT level problems and solve them as easily as possible. In this session, we would be looking at special triangles. These are triangles where if you know the relations between the sides, you can solve these questions very quickly without resorting to either the Pythagoras theorem again and again or any other special formulas for this particular triangles. I would suggest pause this video, have a look at the PDF. The link is available in the description of this video. Once you have tried these questions on your own, then proceed with the rest of this session. Please do share this with your friends who are preparing for CAT and other MBA entrance examinations. You can like and follow us on Facebook as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel to get live event and notifications for all the updates regarding CAT and other MBA entrance examination. You can also look at our WhatsApp as well as Telegram lists. You can join over there and we will update you. We don't spam over there. If you want, you can enroll for our Quant and LRDI courses. These are the best and the most comprehensive courses available in the market. Now, this session assumes basic understanding of the classification of triangles. There are some technical terms for those who are uninitiated. You should look at the first part on triangles, the introduction. Those are the most basic relations which we'll be extending in this particular session. Now, obviously the first triangle and the easiest triangle that you should actually look at will be an equilateral triangle. If you get a question on equilateral triangle, your difficulty level of the question will automatically go down by at least 60 to 70%. Any other special triangle that you get in this session, if you can identify that particular triangle, your difficulty level of the question will automatically drop by 50% versus if it were not a special triangle. Conversely, if you ever get a triangle, a general sort of a triangle, and you cannot make head or tail out of any of those, try to put them in one of these special triangle categories and see what is the relation. Chances are 9 out of 10 times you'll be able to solve the questions just by looking at if it were a special triangle like these. So, equilateral triangle, as we discussed, the most important triangle that you should know, right? All sides are equal, all internal angles are equal. Basically, the symmetry helps you in solving this question, right? So we will be looking at these terms later on in this explainer series: medians, altitudes, perpendicular bisectors, angle bisectors. For an equilateral triangle, it doesn't matter; they are all the same, right? So a median is a line which divides the opposite side into two equal halves, right? And a perpendicular bisector divides the opposite side into two equal halves, but may not pass through the vertex. But because it's an equilateral triangle, it will pass through the vertex also. So, and a median will be perpendicular also. So all these four lines basically coincide, right? Because all these four lines coincide, the meeting point of all these four lines will also coincide. As a precursor to our future parts, try to figure out what these terms actually mean. What are these major points before we go for the next set of explainer series, right? So incenter is the meeting point of, circumcenter is the meeting point of, orthocenter is the meeting point of, centroid is the meeting point of which of these particular lines, right? Most of you would probably remember. If you don't remember, this is very basic of 9th and 10th class geometry. Go and pick up your books and refresh that. Okay, so we can find, if the side of the triangle is given as A, we can find the length of the median or the altitude. It's root 3 by 2a, right? And the area is root 3 by 4a square. An isosceles triangle is not as easy to deal with, but it's not very difficult as well. The only problem with isosceles triangle is the third side may not be equal to the other two sides, right? If you assume AB is equal to AC, this is usually how it is drawn, and BC is the base or the unequal side. If BC becomes equal to AB or AC, then your job becomes easier because it's an equilateral triangle. But even with an isosceles triangle, we can use some of the properties of an equilateral triangle, not all, but some of them over here, right? So if you draw a perpendicular to the unequal side from the vertex which has both the equal sides, the perpendicular will divide it into two equal halves, right? Which also means that it's a perpendicular bisector, it's an it's an altitude as well as a median. So AD is all three of them, and given the symmetry, it will also be the angle bisector of this angle, right? So all the significant points will lie on this. So your median, centroid, incenter, circumcenter, orthocenter, all of them will lie on this particular line. So you can call this the spine of the isosceles triangle. You can call it the spine of the isosceles triangle, right? You can work out all these cases. There are certain text which will probably give you a direct formula for finding the area. I would rather split them into two right angle triangles and then work it out. That is probably easier and lesser strain to not learn any other formula. Now, given that we know these two basic triangles, we can now apply to certain special triangles, as we call them. So the first special triangle that you should know is a 30, 60, 90 right angle triangle. Now, it's basically an equilateral triangle cut into two halves, two equal halves, right? So it will become a 30, 60, 90. If you take a reflection of this and put it on the other side, it will complete the equilateral triangle, right? So you can easily find the ratio of the sides. This will be half. This is the smallest side opposite the smallest angle. The altitude becomes the second lowest, the middling side, where it will be √3 by 2 times A, and A will be the side of the original equilateral triangle, right? So we can find out the ratio of the sides. 1 is to √3 is to 2. 1 is the smallest side, √3 is the middling side, 2 is the longest side, right? And area will be half the area of the full equilateral triangle, right? Now this also tells you why your trigonometric relations are 30, 60, 45, 90, and 0. The basic sine, cos, theta formulas that you remember are 0, 30, 45, 60, and 90. Right, 30, 60 comes from this triangle. 0 and 90 are pretty reasonably easy to work out, and 45 comes from the next triangle, which is your 45, 45, 45 right angle triangle. So if you split a square in half, right, along a diagonal, this will be your 45, 45, 90 triangle. Remember this triangle. If you identify this triangle, it's an isosceles right angle triangle, right? Makes your life very, very easy, right? Two sides are A and A, the diagonal A√2. You know the ratio of sides is 1 is to 1 is to √2, and A square by 2 is the area. Area of the full square is A square. Half of that will be A square by 2. All right. Now, the third special triangle that you should remember is a 30, 30, 120 triangle, right? Now, this is 1/3 of an equilateral triangle. If you take an equilateral triangle and split it into 3 equal parts using the meeting point of angle bisector, median, altitude, perpendicular bisector, etc., all of them coincide at the same point, right? So you'll be splitting them into 3 equal parts. So area will become 1/3 of the area of the full triangle, and you can find the ratio of the sides. In later sessions, we can prove that this length is equal to A by √3 and so on, right? But as of now, this will be the sides. So the ratio of sides, 1 is to 1 is to √3. And obviously, a general sort of a thing which you should always know is Pythagorean triples or Pythagorean triplets, right? So this is your mental aids, A, B, C, A, B, and C. So I've written down the most frequent Pythagorean triplets, right? I took it from Wikipedia. You can probably go and search over there. Key point to know is that A, B, and C are all natural numbers. Now, given that scenario, you will not get any isosceles triangle here, right? Why? Because of this condition, right? If two sides are A, the third side will be A√2. So if A becomes a natural number, A√2 will not be a natural number. If A√2 is a natural number, then A will not be a natural number, or it will not be a rational number also, right? So there are no isosceles Pythagorean triplets, assuming A, B, C are all natural numbers, right? Again, you can research them as much as possible. If you are like a math sort of a nerd or math sort of a geek, then you can probably, you can knock yourself out with all these type of triplets over here. Now let's try to use these to certain questions which came up in XAT and CAT examination over the past years. Let's begin. The first question is from XAT 2015. Again, if you identify the special triangle, your job is done in this case. In a diagram below, CD is equal to BF is equal to 10. CD, this portion is 10. BF is equal to 10. Right, angle CED is equal to angle BAF, which is equal to 30. So this angle is 30. This angle is 30. Now, given that this is a right angle, this has to be a 60. Given that this is a right angle, this has to be a 60. So you already can find two 30, 60, 90 triangles, right? And because this is 60, alternate angles or vertically opposite angles, this will also be 60, right? So this will also be a 30, 60, 90 triangle, right? So we have three 30, 60, 90 triangles. Your job is done. What is the question? What is the area of AED? Now to find the area of AED, your base is ED, height is AD. So half of ED into AD will be your area. So what will be ED? ED is the base. Now this is the 30, 60, 90 triangle. So ratio of sides will be 1 root 3, 2. 1 projects to 10. So root 3 will project to 10 root 3. So ED will be 10 root 3. Now AD is split into three parts: AB, BC, and CD. Right. CD is already known. That's 10. How much will be BC? Now this portion is 10. So this is 60. So 1 root 3, 2. So root 3 now in this case projects to 60. So 1 will project to 10 by root 3. So BC will be 10 by root 3. And in ABF is a 30, 60, 90 triangle again. 30 projects to 10. So 60 will project to 10 root 3. So the full length AD will be 10 times root 3 plus 1 by root 3 plus 1, right? Multiply this by half of 10 root 3. So that will be 5 root 3. If you multiply this, that will be 50. Now root 3 gets multiplied inside. So it will be 3 plus 1 plus root 3. That will be 50 into 4 plus root 3. Option D will be your correct choice. It took me longer to explain in an exam situation. The moment you identify 30, 60, 90 triangles, the question can be solved in about 2 minutes time. Question number 2 is from XAT 2014. Right? It's a data sufficiency sort of a question. Now I've eliminated one of the options, but that option was not data insufficient. That was another set which said like one of the statements is sufficient, right? So that was obviously wrong. We'll also see why it is obviously wrong. It says ABC is a right angle triangle. D and E are midpoints of AB and BC. You are given three statements. You have to find the length of AC. Okay, so let me draw a rough sketch of a right angle triangle. Now AC can be the hypotenuse or AC can be one of the smaller sides. So my first point is to figure out which side is the right angle, right? Without that, even if I know the length of the other two sides, I will not be able to figure it out. Now, so statement 3 is needed, right? So it says B is the right angle, right? But even if I know B is the right angle, now I know AC will be here, right? Okay, so one statement alone is not going to be sufficient, and that's why I eliminated that option from what I've given here. Right, now it says because I need to know which is the right angle, option A cannot be the correct answer. So now you have B, C, or all three. Now AE, what is E? E is the midpoint of AB. E is the midpoint of AB. So E is the midpoint of BC. and D is the midpoint of A. Right? It gives you the length of AE. Right? Only by using this, I'll not be able to solve this. Right? On the other hand, if I give you only CD, I'll again not be able to solve this. Right? So individually B and C will also not be able to solve this. Now there is only one option left, which is all three statements. So even if you don't know the Apollonius theorem, right, you will probably have to use the Apollonius theorem to find the length of the third median or the length of the third side or whatever be the value. You can still go ahead and mark this answer as D. Right? So even though I did not teach you or we did not discuss the Apollonius theorem, you can still mark because you can eliminate all the other options. So just by knowing what is given, right, if you know what are the triangles we are dealing with, even if you know the basic properties of Pythagoras theorem, you can still answer this question even though you don't know the technical formulas like the Apollonius theorem, etc. Right? So in this case, option D is your correct choice. Question number 3. Now you'd say, Vivek, you're cheating. Right? You're giving me a circle. Now, okay, fine, I'm giving you a circle, but the only thing which you need to know is that if you draw two radii of a circle, both of them will be the same length. Right? That is the only thing which you need to know. Everything else basically requires knowledge of triangles. Right? And everyone, almost all kids know that if you draw any radius on a circle, all the radius will be of equal length. Right? That's the basic definition of circle itself. Right? So it says a chord of length 5 centimeter subtends an angle of 60 degree at the center of the circle. The length in centimeter of a chord that subtends an angle of 120 degrees at the center of the same circle is how much? Okay, let's do a rough schematic of this. Okay, so this is how it will look like. So it says a 60 degree angle is given to you. The length of the chord is 5. Right? What will be the length of the chord which subtends 120 at the center? Now, as I discussed earlier, the only thing which you need to know is that the radii of a circle, all radii are equal. Right? Any radii is, if you draw any radii, that's going to be the same in length. Right? How does this help me? Now, if I take this triangle, right, this is 60. Right? These two lengths are equal. So the angles opposite them is going to be equal. What is the balance angle left? 180 minus 60. 120 degrees is left. Right? So these two can be split evenly, 60 and 60. So this becomes an equilateral triangle, which means this is 5, this is 5, which means the radius is length 5. Now I need to find the length of the chord. Right? Again, this is 120 and I know these two sides are equal in length. Why? Because these two are the radii of the circle. So this should be 30. This should be 30. The balance 60 degree, split evenly. What is this? This is a 30, 30, 120 triangle. What will be the ratio of the sides? 1 is to 1 is to root 3. Right? So if this is 1 projects to 5, root 3 will project to 5 root 3. Option 3 will be your correct choice. Even if you just know that the lengths of the radii in a circle are equal, you can solve this. This is a question on triangles. Even though it will be classified as a question on circles, it's more of a question on triangles than on circles itself. And as we discussed in geometry explainers, what to study, circle by itself does not come on its own. You will have circle with some things put inside it. What are the things which can be put inside it? A triangle, a square, or a rectangle, and all those things can be put inside that. Fourth question, this is from CAT 2018 slot 1. Again, you can solve this only with the knowledge which is given to you right now. Right? You don't need knowledge of even similar triangles, congruent triangles. Any of those things is not required. Let's see. Given an equilateral triangle T1 with side 24, a second triangle T2 is formed by joining the midpoints of the sides of T1. Then a triangle T3 is formed by joining the midpoints of sides T2. This process of forming is continued, and the sum of what will be the sum of areas of the infinitely such triangles T1, T2, T3, and so on. Right. So let's draw the first level triangles. Right. So the first level triangle is side 24. Now you take the midpoint and draw a line here. Right, so this part will be 12, this part will be 12, and this angle is 60 degrees. Why? This is also the angle of a equilateral triangle. Now, given these two sides are equal, the balance angle will be the same. The balance angle will be the same. How much will be the balance angle? The balance angle will be 60 again. This will be 60. So this is also an equilateral triangle. Now by symmetry, this will also be an equilateral triangle. This will be an equilateral triangle. And this will also be an equilateral triangle. Right? So we know this will be a smaller equilateral triangle of side 12. Right? So area of T1 will be root 3 by 4 into 24 square. Side is 24. Area of T2 will be root 3 by 4 into 12 square. Similarly, area of T3. T3 is joined by making parts of this. This will be root 3 by 4 into 6 square. Then it will be T4 will be root 3 by 4 into 3 square, and it will keep on going till infinite. Right? You know already it's a infinite geometric progression. What is the first term? First term is root 3 by 4 into 24 square. Right? That's your first term. What is the what is the common ratio? This divided by this. This divided by this will be root 3 by 4 will get cancelled. 24 square divided by 12 square will be 1 by 4. Right? So common ratio is also known. What is the sum of infinite of a geometric progression? Will be a divided by 1 minus r. So this will be 1 minus 1 by 4. That will be 3 by 4. Right? So 4 goes out. Right? So it will be 24 into 24 into root 3 divided by 3. Right? So this is 8. 24 into 8 is 192. Option 4 is your correct choice. Obviously, if you know similarity and all those things, this will be done faster. But if you understand your basic equilateral triangle, even with that, you can solve this question. And the last one, it's a very interesting question from ZAT 2012. Right? Sham, a fertilizer salesman, sells directly to farmers. He visits two villages, A and B. Sham starts from A, travels 50 meters east. Right? Then travels 50 meters northeast exactly at 45. Right? This is 45. Right? And then 50 east to reach B. Right? If the shortest distance between A and B is in the form this, which means a straight line, what will be the value of this? Right? If I were to write this a little neatly, this is how it will look like. So this is A, this is B. You need to find the value of AB. Now this is a 45. So it's a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So this is 50. This is 50. This is 50. Right? Shortest distance, to find the shortest distance, I need the two sides of a right angle triangle. How much will be this side? This side will be the height. The longer side is 50. Ratio of a isosceles right angle triangle is 1:1 to root 2. Longest side is 50. So the shorter side will be 50 by root 2. How much will be the length? This portion is 50. This portion again, this is 45. So 50 by root 2. And this will be 50. Right? You need to find this length and express it in this format. A, B, C are natural numbers. Okay. So let's resolve this. This will be square root of, obviously I can take 50 out common. Right. So this will be 1 by root 2 square plus this portion will be 1 plus 1 plus 1 by root 2. So 2 plus 1 by root 2 whole square. Now expand this. So you'll get 50 into root of 1 by root 2 square will be half. This will be 4 plus half plus 2 into 2 into 1 by root 2. So 4 by root 2. Right? Half and half will give you 1. 1 plus 4 will give you 5. So this I can rewrite it as 50 into square root of 5 plus 4 by root 2 will be 2 into root 2, which is root 8. Right? Why did I write it as root 8? Because I need to express it in this format. A, B, and C are natural numbers. I cannot write it as 2 root 2. I need to write it in this format. What is the value of A plus B plus C? A plus B plus C will be 50 plus 5, 55, plus 8, 63. None of these. Now, you would say, Vivek, why can't I take one of the factors and put it inside? Let's try to put one of the factors inside and see what comes out. Right? So, 50 into root of 5 plus square root 8. This will become, if I take 25, if I push a 2 inside, it will be 4. 4 into 5 will be 20 plus square root of, if I push a 4 inside the square root, remember I have to express it in this format. That will be 16 into 8. Now 16 into 8 itself is a 3-digit number. None of the options are a 3-digit number. I can alternately try to push a 5. That will be even bigger because I'll be pushing a 5 inside, so it will become 25 here. 25 into 5 itself is 125. And when I put a 25 inside the second square root, I'll have to multiply it by 625, which basically will go out of the range. So none of these, one of those ZAT questions where you actually have to mark none of these, because none of these is the most prevalent option which comes up in ZAT. Right. So that completes this particular question. Now, as we looked at this entire set of series, all the 5 questions could be solved by using simple methods, right? Each of the question, if you just know the basic special triangles, can be solved in about 2.5 minutes time, right? In fact, it's faster as you get more and more practice with special triangles and you are keen to identify them. The questions can be solved very, very, very quickly. Don't miss out on special triangles. They are very, very frequent in CAT, ZAT, and every other management examination. That completes this particular session. If you liked it, please do share it with your friends who are preparing for CAT and other MBA entrance examination. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow our Facebook page. The links for our course are available on the description to this video. Till we meet again the next time, goodbye and all the best.